our old friend Senator John Cornyn, Texas Republican, chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, and he joins us now. Senator Cornyn, great to have you with us.
Good morning, Laura. Good to be with you.
Senator Cornyn, it's no secret to you that when I heard the following on Fox election night, I was a little disturbed. Let's listen.
The National Party, the Republican Senatorial Campaign Committee, is not going to spend a dollar there.
Okay, so that was talking about Christine O'Donnell in Delaware, the race. I want to ask you first and foremost, given your role as the NRSC chairman, is the National Party going to support Christine O'Donnell beyond the initial contribution that you guys gave her?
We have, and we will, and I'm meeting with Christine O'Donnell and her campaign team today. I regret that story got some wings. Unfortunately, it was a rumor and not attributed to any individual, certainly not attributed to me, and I'm the one as chairman of the committee that's responsible for making those decisions. So we've, I think, corrected the record, and I think we are certainly all unified going forward and focusing on picking up that seat in November.
All right. Well, as you know, the response and reaction across conservative talk radio, especially my show, I know a lot of my listeners, Senator Cornyn, called your office, and I always say, come on, the Texans are so good to this country and have been so good to this country. Yeah, you got to be good and be respectful to Senator Cornyn, make your views heard. But I know your office was inundated with calls from people across the country who see or saw a kind of this pig pile on the woman who won this primary, a continued pig pile, and you have the opportunity now, Senator, to respond to this comment last night by Charles Krauthammer on the O'Reilly factor.
What's at stake here is control of the Senate. You aren't going to have anybody if you support O'Donnell and she loses. It's a completely illogical argument. You're either going to have
they don't think she's going to lose,
or you're not. Well, look, but the odds are
odds that she wins
1 in 10.
Your reaction to Krauthammer?
Well, I don't think any of us know exactly what's going to happen on November the 2nd. I think, we're going to support Christine O'Donnell, and I think given the wave nature of this election, I think she has an opportunity to get elected. I will be candid with you, Laura, and tell you that I still do think that Mike Castle had a better chance of getting elected in November, and Mike and I view the world differently. He's a moderate Republican. I'm a social and fiscal conservative.
He's a rhino Republican, Senator. I mean, with all due respect, Mike Castle, in his thinking, is the kind of thinking that got the Republican Party to the depths that it went to in 2006 and 2008. We compromised our principles. We spent like there was no tomorrow. The country revolted, and that's what you're seeing. So
no, it's not what I'm saying, Laura. He voted against Obamacare, and he voted against the stimulus, as I recall. He voted for things that I would not have voted for, but again, I think the most important thing now is that the voters have spoken, and I respect their judgment, and we'll have to see what happens in November. The challenge we have from a national map is there's only a limited amount of money available to support these candidates through the Senatorial Committee. And we're going to have to make some hard judgments because, of course, we want to make sure every dollar we spend makes it more likely we pick up a Senate seat. And I hope that we pick up Delaware. I sincerely do.
Well, you don't sound very enthusiastic, Senator. I mean, and you know, I've supported you throughout the years. I mean, we've had our moments on some issues, but this is what's frustrating. And this, please hear me out. People feel like there is some element within the Republican establishment that's quietly rooting for Christine O'Donnell to lose. Are you part of that establishment?
Absolutely not. I'm for Republicans getting back in control where we can set the agenda, where we don't have to be in a defensive crouch and are relegated to doing nothing but voting against bad legislation. I'm for repealing Obamacare and replacing it with a sensible alternative. I'm against the runaway spending and the unsustainable debt, and I want to put America back to work by getting the private sector back to work and growing the economy rather than creating impediments to job creation. So we're all together on that. I don't really see any distance between you and me and Christine O'Donnell and others who want Republicans to win as many seats as possible in November.
Well, I think what people want is that the political leadership in Washington, that includes you, to show the same enthusiasm and passion for this incredible movement across this country that the people are showing. So instead of, well, she can win, how about she's going to win? This country has said no to this ridiculous series of decisions that have been made. Frankly, and Mike Castle was not a stalwart on a lot of these issues. And Mike Castle and his thinking, frankly, over the years, has got the people in the base of this party absolutely livid. So I think what people are seeing is that, okay, you're saying some of the right things now, but you don't seem all that thrilled about the possibility of taking this blue state and turning it red, which I'm telling you, $1.3 million, who else has raised that in 48 hours in the Republican Party?
Well, it's very impressive, and I wish her every success. That's why we're throwing the full weight of our support behind her. My rule is pretty clear, and it's been this way throughout. I'm for the most conservative candidate that can win in any given election. Period.
Well, but don't you agree that you miscalculated this, because the most conservative person can win, and she won the primary? You were with Mike Castle.
We haven't had the November 2nd election. I hope you're right.
So you hope you're going to be proved wrong. I just want to get that clear. You hope that you are going to be proved wrong in November.
Absolutely. I've never said that she is unelectable. I've said that I thought that Mike Castle was more electable. That would have been a slam dunk in November. This is going to be a little bit
He's not even endorsing her, Senator. Your guy is not even endorsing the Republican. I mean, look, I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. You know, I always say I'm the most flawed person out there, Laura. Senator. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not perfect, but your guy, the guy that you thought was going to deliver us from all of our democratic evils, Mike Castle, not even going to support her. That's classy.
Well, that's his choice, and I disagree with him. I'm supporting Christine O'Donnell, and we are looking forward to maximizing the number of Republican seats we can pick up. I think the passion and intensity that the Tea Party movement has brought is very important, and I believe we should open our arms wide, and we should march together toward November and tell President Obama and his agenda that we want him to stop, and if he won't stop, we will stop it. And I think that's what we ought to be focused on now, and that's what I'm certainly focused on.
Senator, it looks like Lisa Murkowski is going to throw her hat in the ring as an independent in Alaska, another establishment favorite. She, again, the most conservative person who could, as a write-in, the most conservative person who could win in Alaska. A lot of people thought it was Murkowski. Now, she's obviously not supporting Joe Miller. We've seen this trend with people like Charlie Crist and others. And my question to you is, what about this? What is your view on these people who refuse to endorse the Republicans who win the primaries?
Well, I think it would be a mistake for Lisa to run as a write-in. I think she ought to support Joe Miller, as I am, as the choice of Republican primary voters in Alaska. I just think it's a mistake. We issued a statement last night reiterating our full support and saying that it would be a mistake for Lisa to divide the Republican vote and to help the Democrat in November. I think Joe Miller will win anyway, but I hate to see this happen.
And Senator Cornyn, the challenge to Obamacare is moving its way through the court system. We all hope it ends up getting defeated, its constitutionality called into question. What's your confidence level that Obamacare will be taken down in the courts?
Well, I hope fervently that it is, and as you know, the Commerce Clause is the main issue here, and unfortunately, judges like Elena Kagan, who I voted against, say that they defer to Congress in determining its own power under the Commerce Clause, which is no limitation at all. I have every hope that will happen. If it doesn't, then I think we need to amend the Constitution to make clear again that ours is one of limited powers rather than plenary power.
Repeal, and you're going to be moving that repeal move through the Senate when you guys take the Senate back in November, which I'm predicting.
Absolutely.
Senator Cornyn, I'm really happy you came on, and some of your colleagues are kind of tiptoeing around conservative talk radio these days, but I think it's terrific that you came on. We really appreciate it, and what's happening in this country is profound, and I hope all of your colleagues celebrate it and just tap into that enthusiasm, and the people will follow. I think it's a really positive thing that's happening.
I agree, and I'm always glad to join you, Laura. Have me on again.
All right, you take care. Senator John Cornyn from Texas,